Hello and welcome to episode 435 of the Mark and Me podcast. As always, I'm your host Mark. Now I've got a returning guest today on Mark and Me, the film director Uwe Boll. Last time we talked all about his early career, we talked about what inspired him, and we continue the chat today, but we also talk about his brand new film, which is called First Shift and is out now. So I urge you all to go and check it out, but beforehand, stick around and listen to my interview with Uwe in the next couple of minutes. Now, before we get to that interview, what I always like to do is touch base and talk about my last episode. My God, this one was insane. Bobcat Goldthwait, one of the most amazing actors out there, someone that I'd waited for years to get on Mark and Me. And I can't thank you all enough for the amazing feedback, the great comments, the numbers were amazing, and to Bobcat for sharing the episode as well. But today, like I said, it's all about Uwe Boll, so I want to get straight to it. So here's me and Uwe talking all things film. Welcome to the Mark and Me podcast.
Hello.
You did actually, it's a long time now, this podcast has been going 8 years, but you did come on this podcast about 6 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't expect you to remember every interview, but what I do with every guest that comes on, I'm at over 400 episodes now, so quite a lot's happened in the time since we last spoke, is I love to always find out about the films that got you into movies yourself. So when you're a kid, those early films that maybe you watched that just made you fall in love with cinema.
Definitely Mutiny of the Bounty with Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
And all the James Dean movies.
Amazing.
There was just amazing. It was this time where there were not a lot of TV programs, there was no streaming. So I had to go to the movies, and in my hometown was every Sunday was the matinee, just with classics. And I always went there, and my parents let me do it, even was 8-9 years old. And I watched like Ben-Hur, Quo Vadis, but also like El Dorado, like Western. And that was great. I think that movie theater closed when I was 18.
Yeah.
At that time, I was able to go to the bigger city to the movies. And but I'm very influenced initially from like kind of Hollywood movies, you know. And then later, when you're like 20 to 30, you start looking into Antonioni, Truffaut. You look more into also European filmmakers because you want to widen the horizon. But the love for the US, like Hollywood movies, never went away.
No. And at what point was it that it became a reality for you to get behind the camera and actually believe that you could make it as a director? Because for parents and for people bringing up their children, if they turn around and say, I want to be an actor, I want to be a director, some people are like, son, you need to get a proper job. Like, this is going to be a hard world to get into. But what did you do to kind of convince everyone that you could do this?
I think my parents don't really believe that I'm serious about it. And they had no connection to the film industry at all. And but in the school was my buddy, Frank Lustig, and he wanted to do exactly the same. So then we shot first on Super 8 and then later on 16mm short movies and stuff where when you're together, like for two people always move mountains easier and they don't give up. And then I tried to get into the film schools. I didn't get into the film school, so I studied in Cologne, literature and stuff like this. But we went to the Cologne, let's say, the hobby film school, but you could learn editing on a Steinbeck editing table and stuff like this.
Oh, okay.
So we were able to do our 60mm films on our own. And that was basically how it all started. And then we were both a while in university. We felt like we need to do something real or it will never lead to anything. And that is where we did German Fried Movie, this kind of compilation movie like Kentucky Fried Movie. And because we felt we could never, how we should do that, have a 20-day shoot. But we could shoot one scene and then like 3 weeks later, we shot another scene for a day. And you get the actors for free. You found some crew for free. And you basically, for 8-9 months, we produced this kind of jokes and gags. It was like Benny Hill meets Kentucky Fried Chicken. You know, so it was crazy. But it was finished at one point. And we were able to get it in some movie theaters, and we were able to sell the DVD home video rights at that point. And that brought us into like, okay, look, we could do it. Let's continue, you know. And then, I mean, it was still years and years away from making like a living or something from a film.
Did you find that not going to the official film school made it a tougher challenge for you, or because you were able to get your hands on the cameras, film with people, that was all you needed? That was the actual real life hands-on experience that could beat any textbook?
That's true. I mean, I
Yeah,
went to Vienna for like 4 weeks as a guest at that film school, and they were only talking, right? And
yeah,
I look, I mean, about movies, I can talk all day, but I want to learn more stuff to actually make movies. What is like, it was an editing workshop, or it was a lighting workshop, how I handle a camera, if I do a cameraman workshop. That was all not existing. They were more like theoretically talking about everything. And I think to make films is the only way to make films. I
yeah,
mean, it's like, and you learn it only if you're on set, if you handle actors or you handle crew, and you get things done, then you get better, and you get more like, you know already what's happening. I think that's the only way to learn to be a movie director. And now I think today, in today's time, the film schools are way more practical. They're way more like, here's the camera, go out, do a short movie, come back tomorrow. Like something like this. I think they're way less intellectual driven.
yeah. And obviously, at the moment, you're promoting on a tour with the latest release from you. When we first talked, I think it might have been Rampage. We were talking about you making, but now obviously we're promoting First Shift. And for a buddy cop film, I wondered, were you a fan of this kind of genre growing up? Was it like the Lethal Weapons and those sort of films and those kind of slight comedy but great action cop films that made you fall in love with this kind of genre?
Yeah, and I missed the problem now with this kind of genre. When you see Bad Boys now, or Lethal Weapon, or like when they're getting made anew, it's just like $150 million car chase. And
Yeah,
I missed this kind of more, in a way, realistic dialogue driven buddy cop
yeah,
movie, where it's not necessarily all about, look, we can do another shootout for 5.5 hours. So that was driving me, and the love for, I always wanted to, when I did like 5 years, I did no movie, right? And I felt like I really want to do a New Yorker movie. I was there only like for short 2 days for South of Wall Street, and for other stuff like shooting more or less second unit stuff for some of my films. But I felt like First Shift is a road movie. It shows New York. It shows the craziness of New York. And then I was lucky that I did a casting call. And of course, you get like hundreds of people applying. And then Gino Pizzi applied. And I looked at him up and I said, look, you played the lead with Jennifer Lopez in a TV series, Shades of Blue.
yeah,
Why you apply? I mean, I normally would think I have to go to your agent, whatever. And he said, no, he fired everybody. He has no more agent. He lives basically in Pittsburgh. And he left LA at COVID times because
yeah,
he couldn't handle it anymore. And he wanted to be away from humanity, basically, and the craziness what in LA, of course, at that point happened. And uh, and then we talked a lot over Zoom. And I said, well, if you want to play that guy, I don't have a lot of money, but totally, you can play it. And he brought Kristen Renton in, and she's so a positive person, like, so like we saw it in our Zoom conferences, and with, and we felt we need to make it, maybe I was not planning to make it this funny, but based on the actors, I felt like that is the way we have to go now. It has to be like a real kind of Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau situation.
yeah,
Like, and we went for it. And I mean, when you see like the episodes in the beginning, when I started writing the script, all that episodes I wrote, like the father kills the son and his wife and himself. So there were more like very dark, Uwe Boll ideas in that side stories and in the crime stories. But I'm happy that we really have the antidote with these two guys to it. So that brings you through that day, I think, in a more positive way, and not so like a Debbie Downer way, like how a lot of times my movies, I think, have that problem that they drag you down because they're very dark, existential, and it was good to not do this with First Shift.
Did it feel refreshing because of the topic and because of the humor and the chemistry, especially between Kristen and Gino? Like the TV they've been in, look at Sons of Anarchy and Days of Our Lives and Daredevil and all the great shows they've been in. They come with this charisma, they come with this confidence that you just must absolutely love when you're sat as a director watching them just naturally play out.
Yes, it was really, I mean, 50% of that dialogue is written by them. Like, I mean, they really just did. And I said, look, guys, do whatever works for you, and I watch it if I believe it. It's this kind of, that's the nice part of a director, I think, that you're not insisting in say it the way it's written. If you feel it's way better what they're doing here right now, and then like let them go. And they even changed the other, like Walden, the actress Tia Hodge, also like the captain in the
Yeah.
right. I think she totally adjusted to them in a way. She recognized that the text I got maybe before is just not working with these guys. So let's be one of this team too, so that she takes everything with this kind of ironic thing when they go for lunch and he has the dog and stuff like this. I think that helped the film enormously.
Because it was a new genre for you and a bigger budget and with these names you were working with and maybe more studio interference and stuff and just everything was bigger, wasn't it, than your normal productions. I was thinking to myself before we spoke today, did you feel more pressure? Did you feel slightly nervous, or were you just confident and relishing in the fact that you had this amazing set of tools to play with?
No, I was very happy. And
Yeah.
we had, that was I mean, in New York, you had various problems. We had a problem with the line producer at one point, and the people flipped out on him, and then he disappeared in a way. And that is always bad for a director when you don't know, like, is the call sheet coming for tomorrow or like something.
Yeah.
So that happened for a while in week two. And on the other hand, the other problem, of course, is the lengths it takes to go from A to B in New York. When
Yeah.
you had like 2 shooting locations in one day, it always ended up in a 2.5 hours travel break. Before everybody was parked, everybody was on the other location, the day was almost over. And that was my pressure I had the whole time, because the day plays, it's one day, it plays daytime. So I could not, like, I know it was March in New York, so at 6 p.m. it got too dark. So we always started at 6 a.m. It was dark, and we know, okay, now we're setting everything up so that when the sun comes up at 8:30 or something, we are ready to roll. But we know also at around 6 p.m. it will just get too dark. And that was the pressure we were on the whole time. And driving in the city is logistically a total nightmare.
I can't even imagine it. Like, I've been there a few times and it's just chaotic. And I just think to try and even stop anything for an amount of time just must be chaos.
Yes. And a lot of times we lost them, right? Because you have scenes, of course, where you are in the car, in the police car, and they're driving and you film them. But you have also scenes where the camera is on the hood and nobody can be in the car, only the 2 actors. So now
I
the
see.
only contact is, of course, the walkie-talkie. And I hate process trailers, when the car is not really driving. And
Yeah.
so I'm not doing it. And they both could drive the car. So, and I said, look, guys, no, you have to drive basically alone. We switch the camera on. We will be in front of the camera, like in front of your truck. Follow us. So, and now in New York, people cut them off, right? They cut them off. They cut us off. The light gets red. We cannot stop. We have to go. And then, like, where are they? Like, gone, And then we always had to talk, because the walkie-talkies were then not working anymore. They were too far away. So you have to call their cell phone. Like, by the way, we don't know what you're shooting, but we don't hear you. We don't see you. So we need to, like, just meet again somewhere, turn around and drive back over the bridge. That's the horror. That's so bad because, of course, we didn't have $100 million to block all that roads or something.
Of
Like
course, yeah.
in a Will Smith movie, but not in a movie like this. So that was very stressful from time to time because you also didn't know what was on what they've said. You lost the contact, and I had to ask them, look, guys, I don't know what you were talking about, but do you think you did it? You have it, or you think it's better to shoot it again? So, and then in the evening, you get the digital chip to check what you shot. You sit in a hotel room and put it in your laptop, and then you first time really see it, what you shot there. I mean, a good thing is with digital, of course, it's that you don't have to wait a day for the lab, so you see it faster. So, but it
Is
was.
that terrifying? Because when you get that USB stick and you put it in, or your hard drive, and you watch the footage back, if it's not right, you're like, oh my God, like we need to go back and do it all again. Like, oh, the chaos we went through today and all those different obstacles we had to overcome, and we haven't been able to watch it back on set. So now I'm like, oh my God, like, got to do it all again.
Yeah, I had two situations like this where I felt God, there were a time, for example, sometimes they was too slow. They were driving too slow, right? And I just cannot use that. It's like nobody drives like this. Not a cop in New York. As soon they
No.
can drive, they drive. And so I said we have to do this again. That was not good. And then another day where like half of the digital like saving, it was not there. Like I was like calling, watching it, and then it was like 11 p.m. and I called everybody. I said, is that all we shot? I mean, where's the other camera? What's happening? Did it not tape anything? And then it was a glitch. Like it was basically a mistake between the camera department, and they didn't give him all the cards to load into the
Oh,
system.
I see. Yeah.
So that was the next day we cleared that up. But first, when you start watching it, the total panic comes up, and you think like, oh my God, that all the B cam is not there, for example, and then you would have to do it again. And of course, as soon you have scenes with like actors who you hired for one day, like whatever, the mafia killing on the roof. If you have like, they were all like 6, 7 actors, Gary Pastore, it was like in Carlitos Way and whatever, the Goodfellas, and I don't even know if it would be available again. And then you don't have the material, and you're totally like, I cannot believe it. Where is it? That is basically what sometimes happens, But the one thing we had to reshoot, but the other stuff, we were lucky.
Would you do it all again, even though it was quite stressful and at times it was obviously really challenging with the time limits, the sun, the 6 p.m. knowing it suddenly gets dark? Would you learn from it and think to yourself, oh, I don't want to do this again, like I'll stick to what I've done before? Or are you now like, I want to do more of this?
No, I think I want to do first shift too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we developing a script maybe for part 2 and part 3 to shoot that back to back if possible. I hope, of course, that like Paramount Plus supports us again, and I hope also that we basically get a little better planning. I mean, the good thing is we learned, of course, now what can work and what cannot work. And I think we have to write the scenes in a way that we don't have to move locations at all.
Yeah.
We have one location a day. That's it. And if we have the feeling that location is basically it's a too short of a scene for a full day, then we should add more stuff there, and or we omit this there and move that dialogue to another scene where it's more happening, because that was too much like logistically a nightmare, So, and then doing the driving. That will be again you cannot do it different. It will be very problematic, but it's only the driving scenes. Maybe you do 3-4 days of poor driving scenes with a very small crew, and then the rest you basically adjust to New York. You just cannot shoot in Queens and you think you shoot in the afternoon then in Manhattan. It
Yeah.
just it's horrible.
So, have you got anything lined up at the moment? Are you able to talk about what you're working on? Is there a new script or a film that you're in pre-production or writing as we speak? Is there something else that's going on?
Yeah, I have a movie, what we want to sell now, a run with Amanda Plummer and
Okay.
James Russo are in it. Ulrich Thompson is in it. Bakat Abdi from Captain Phillips. And it's basically playing in a small Italian coast town, and you have everyday migrants coming in. And then you have one day where they're coming in, and the situation really goes off the tracks, basically, between the police, the citizens, and the migrants. And Amanda Plummer is helping a pregnant a Senegalese refugee, but another refugee gets violent and like kills somebody.
Oh,
So
wow.
it plays also in one day, and it's very like yeah, I think it's maybe a controversial film, but not really, because it shows like most of the migrants just want a better life, you know. So, but you have also you have people in the boats. You don't know what they're doing next, and if they get like threatened or whatever, then they turn violent. And I think it was important to make a movie like this. Because when you see the movies about migration done, they're very one-sided. You know, they're
That's fair,
very,
yeah.
very positive about migration, and it's not. I mean, I work with all nations and all citizens from tons of different. I think I shot 2 movies in South Africa, but I think in Europe the migration problem is a real one, and we need to get a grip on it, and because that's not ending well. How we, if we in Germany and England to proceed like what we're doing, like getting every year uncontrolled to thousands, hundreds, thousands of people in, and the citizens don't know anymore. The teachers don't know anymore how to handle that. It's just over. It's too overwhelming. It's too much, you know. And I felt like having that microcosmos in one little town, in a beach town, where you have basically all the pros and cons. You know, you have this kind of, the mayor is cannot handle it, but a boat like James Russo and Ulrich Thompson have a boat rental, and they are like have no guests. There's no more tourism since the boat's coming. You know, so they are like going bankrupt basically, and so they getting very like aggressive against the migrants. And I think that's the key, to show all the different sides of it. And I hope I will get soon a good distribution deal for it. But in the first wave, when I tried to get into film festivals, they all passed on it. And I know why, because they are scared to show that
Yeah.
they think the audience, like the backlash from the journalist or the audience, to say, how could you show that movie? You know, it's like a migrant kills a guy. That cannot happen. I mean, it happens every single day in the real world, but in the movies, it shouldn't happen. And that's ridiculous.
That's fair. Time is almost up, but what I do with every guest that comes on is I do like to ask the guest to pick a song to be played at the very end. So once the interview's all edited and the world's ready to listen to it, any song that means a lot to you personally will play out at the very end. So I've had everyone on. I've had Anthony Hopkins, Mads Mikkelsen, Kevin Smith, and all of them get to choose a song that's personal to them. So I wondered, I know I'm putting you on the spot a bit today, but is there a song or a piece of music that means a lot to you that you would love to be played today?
Yeah, play Billy Joel, Captain Jet.
Oh, great tune. Is there a
That
reason that one came to the top of your head before the rest?
that was the song of my when I was young. Basically, I could really identify.
Amazing. Thank you for your time today. Good luck with the release of the film. Obviously, I'll promote it heavily on my podcast and all my channels and everything, but I wish you all the luck with the release.
Yeah, I come on, and come on anytime if you want. Right.
Let's
So
make it a third time very soon.
perfect.
So there's my interview with me and Uwe Boll. I hope you all enjoyed the interview as much as me. And as I said at the start, his brand new film, First Shift, is out now, and you can go and check it out digitally and then let me know what you think. As always, guys, if you've enjoyed today's episode, please take the time to share the episode. You know the score by now. You've all got either Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky. just share the episode. I see it on so many people's stories. It never goes unnoticed and I really appreciate it. Also, I have a Patreon account, so if you want to support the podcast, I understand times are tough, but if you can afford £1 a month, it all goes right back into the podcast. So go on to markandme.com, the link's on there, and any support all goes right back into the production of Mark and Me. And trust me, with festivals coming up, I need it more than ever. I want to give a big shout out to the two sponsors of Mark and Me. Firstly, Richer Sounds. If you want to get yourself a new TV, home cinema surround sound system, Sonos, anything like that, go on richersounds.com or visit any of the high street stores. And lastly, Vice Press. If you'd like to get yourself a beautiful poster, a collectible art print, go on vicepress.com, add anything into your basket and use the discount code MarkandMe10 to save 10%. Right guys, as always, it's been absolutely crazy. I think you've had something like 4 episodes in just under a week and a half, and that's not going to stop anytime soon. So until the next episode of Mark and Me, take care, look after yourself, and I'll speak to you all very soon.
Saturday night and you're still hanging around. You're tired of living in your one-horse town. You'd like to find a little hole in the ground for a while. So you go to the village in your tie-dye jeans, and you stare at the junkies and the closet queens. It's like some pornographic magazine, and you smile. Captain Jack will get you high tonight. Your special island. Captain Jack will get you by tonight. Just a little push and you'll be smiling. Oh yeah. Your sister's gone out, she's on a date, and you just sit at home and masturbate. Your phone is gonna ring soon, but you just can't wait for that call. So you stand on the corner in your new English clothes, and you look so polished from your hair down to your toes. Oh, but still your fingers gonna pick your nose after all. Yeah. But Captain Jack will get you high tonight and take you to your special island. Captain Jack will get you by tonight. Just a little push, you'll be smiling. Oh yeah. So you decide to take a holiday. You got your tape deck and your brand new Chevrolet. Oh, there ain't no place to go anyway. And what for? So you've got everything, oh, but nothing's cool. They just found your father in the swimming pool. you guess you won't be going back to school anymore. But Captain Jack can get you high tonight and take you to your special island. Oh, Captain Jack will get you by tonight. Just a little push and you'll be smiling. La, la. Oh, yeah. So you play your albums and you smoke your pot and you meet your girlfriend in the parking lot. Oh, but still you're aching with the things you haven't got. What went wrong? And if you can't understand why your world is so dead, why you've gotta keep in style and feed your head. Well, you're 21 and still your mother makes your bed, and that's too long. Ooh.